Hello and welcome back to the Chapped podcast.
I think you're being too quiet.
I think you're being a little too wild.
Yeah.
So if you're so quiet, you're not even showing up in the
okay.
So we'll put on your foot instead of my foot.
It's gonna start shaking and then it's gonna be really scary.
Okay. Well, anyways, last time we started talking about school shootings and how we were under a school shooting threat, and I remember we said that it was gonna keep happening. If nobody did anything about it. And then the next time that we went back to school after the weekend, we ended up getting another one. So.
And then we had some kids had a meeting with the teachers. Turns out we had 4 threats.
Yeah.
Didn't even tell us.
Yes.
And then they just kept avoiding.
And apparently a kid got sent to or got suspended because the school said if you don't admit that you did this, you're going to juvie.
And he wasn't the one.
Yeah, it turns out he wasn't the one.
So I bet everybody.
And not only that, but that wasn't even the kid from the first threat. They haven't even found the kid from the first threat. They only found the one from the second threat.
And actually, Brenda, you went to the safety meeting. Tell us about the safety meeting.
Well, I went to the safety meeting, and then everybody was asking a bunch of questions, like, oh, why didn't you inform us? Why were you being very vague? Like, why wasn't a message sent out as soon as you guys found out? And all they kept saying was, well, you see, we talked with our PD. We did what our PD said was best. We have trust in our PD. We did this as a team. Well, our PD this, our PD that.
If you're wondering what PD is, that stands for Police Department.
Yeah. And so that's all they kept saying, and they were basically repeating the same thing over and over again for every single question that was asked. So at one point during the safety meeting, when they said, well, you see, our PD, then everybody just stood up and started leaving.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
And it was halfway through the meeting, correct?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think we should get a fourth opinion on this. We are going to call in our guest now. Here is our guest. Hello.
Hi.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Yasmine, and my favorite color is yellow.
Wow, that's
Now tell us your thoughts of the matter.
Well, during the meeting, because me and Brenda, the 2 reporters here, since we both went to the meeting, not only did they just repeat the same thing over, they also blame this matter on the students.
Oh yeah, they were saying
yes.
They were saying stuff like, well, when you guys see something, it's important that you tell us immediately. We were told that the threat had been written days before we were informed about it. If only you guys would tell us more often when stuff like this happened, it would be a lot easier for us. And yeah.
And the whole problem just goes back to America, so you shouldn't blame the student.
Well,
I think we should change the topic now. We just had to.
Yeah, that was just a little update.
Yeah. Let's go on to abortion.
Yay.
Whoa.
Who's ready?
Trigger warning if you do not like this topic.
There will be a timestamp in the bio for when we start talking about the next topic.
Mm-hmm.
Of
Amy,
course,
try to
yes.
remember to.
I'll remember.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll edit this video.
So
Who would like to start out?
I think the people in Alabama would like to start out.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You guys hear about that?
Big yikes.
I can't believe you're allowed to kill someone just for them getting an abortion.
No, that's Texas.
Yeah.
Texas has a death penalty for abortions.
And what's
Death
Alabama?
penalty?
Alabama, yeah. Texas has a death penalty, so if a woman has an abortion, you get the death penalty.
Can't you go to jail for in one place for like
I thought.
a really long time?
Yeah. I think that's in Alabama. You can go to jail longer for, like, hypothetically, if you were to get raped.
Oh yeah.
You could go to jail longer for attempting murder for trying to get an abortion longer than your rapist would.
I also saw somewhere that someone said if you're like a really young child and you get raped and like you are pregnant, you can't get an abortion. Like you can go to jail
But
Yeah.
Like,
I think also something people are forgetting is there's people who like sometimes need an abortion because they have like
Yeah.
health conditions and like
Yeah.
if they have the baby, both them and the baby will die and stuff. So
I read this somewhere also that it said like they're just getting rid of safe medical abortions. They're not getting
Yeah.
rid like nobody's gonna know if you're pregnant or not at
people are
that
gonna find
point.
new ways to get rid of it.
Yeah,
They're gonna go back to the coat hanger method.
or that you can throw
Mhm.
yourself down the stairs or
There's
all
just so
that.
many issues with what's going on because, like, first of all, it wasn't even women making any of the
Yeah,
decisions.
I saw
Yes.
that. It was all men.
It was all men, and most of it isn't even because they're thinking politically. Most of it is because they're thinking religiously. And I feel like a lot of people, or some people that are in office anyway, tend to get their religion get in the way because those two things don't go together. You can't make political decisions like with a religious viewpoint.
And you can't make decisions if you're not the one that it affects.
Exactly.
It affects women's bodies, not men's. So.
yeah.
And not only that, but everybody says that like calls abortion killing, but in reality, is it killing if it's not a child? They're not really conscious of what's going on, and it's pretty much cells.
Yeah,
most
it's just
of the
a collection
time.
of cells.
It's a collection of cells. It's not like they have like emotions at the time. And not only that, but a lot of people say stuff like, well, what if that baby or whatever that you aborted grew up to cure cancer? And it's like, well, what if the teenage girl that couldn't get an abortion was going to grow up to study something and they were going to cure cancer, but now they can't
I also
because
saw,
they're not allowed.
like, there's so many people, so many women in other countries that aren't allowed to, like, work and stuff because of the way their culture is. Like, what if one of them can have a cure for cancer? Like, you
It
know?
honestly, it creates so many more like gender divisions in my opinion, because having men decide what women are going to do with their bodies is like not fair, because those women that would be having the baby instead of aborting it would have to stay home and have to care for the baby instead of like going somewhere to work and getting an education and stuff.
Yeah, and something that used to make me mad before like all this was going down was some states have a law where both parents have to say it's okay to have the abortion.
Yeah.
So that seems so stupid because like if you get raped, and the rapist is like, oh, I want the baby. Like if you've ever seen American Horror Story.
Most of the time, rapists are like they don't even count because it like why would they want anybody to know?
Well, I mean, like if they end up getting caught, they go to jail. But they're still the father. Well, actually, I don't have to look into the laws for that because I'm actually not quite sure about that. But still, both parties have to say if it's okay. But it's a woman carrying it for 9 months.
Exactly.
It's not.
Just like how you can't get your tubes tied without having like 3 kids and your husband's
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah.
When like guys can, what is it called? What's that thing called? Where, like,
Vasectomy.
yeah, they can get that without any without any permission.
What is having your tubes tied?
Yeah.
What is that?
Your fallopian tube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you can't get pregnant.
Like so, yeah, you can't like.
Like your ovaries won't the eggs can't transfer
They
to.
can't be fertilized.
And then for the
and
guys,
stuff.
what is it called?
A vasectomy.
And so what happens
It
to
cuts
them?
off. Okay, so there's I think it's the vas difference. We learned about this in one of my classes, and so I think they just cut it off, like so you can't get any of the sperm to fertilize. So it won't come out, but there's also a slight chance that it might not work.
Yeah.
And you can reverse it too, so it's not like it's permanent.
Yeah.
Is the woman's is permanent, right? You can't.
Women,
untie
I
them.
believe, are permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, there's an episode of Malcolm in the Middle when Hal gets a bisectomy, and then his wife, or he said he was gonna get a vasectomy, but then he didn't because he was scared.
Yeah.
So then he did get one, but then his wife's like, actually, you don't need to get one. So then he got reversed. Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm. Just think maybe people should allow women to do what they want with their
Women's.
bodies.
Yeah.
Women's.
You know, I just can't talk.
Also, I don't know if it was made a law yet or if it passed, but if you're in Alabama or Texas and you do want to get an abortion, and if you were, let's just say, so you're a resident there, and you were to go to, like, Kansas, I don't know, and
Just think we should bring Bernie Sanders in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders is pretty good.
He's
Yeah.
running again. So
Really?
Who knows?
But he's
Yeah,
so
he is.
old.
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. But like, I don't know. Still love him.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Bernie Sanders becomes president, I feel like America would be happier.
Because he actually cares about everybody.
And he wants
not only
LGBTQ rights.
Yeah. Didn't Donald Trump pass? What law was it?
The one where
Oh,
transgenders.
Transgender people can't join the
Join the army.
military.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
because of
that's-
hormonal issues.
So stupid.
I don't really understand.
Or they
How
don't
it
want the government to
matters.
have to pay for like hormonal like medicines or something stupid like
Has
that.
the government been paying for that?
No, because I guess if you're part of the military, I think you get like health benefits.
Oh.
So people who have to go through hormonal treatments, I think they just don't want to pay for that.
But
But
that doesn't make sense because some people that join the military have other health related issues
Yeah.
that they have to
Yeah.
get paid for. So honestly, what's the big
and then
deal?
I mean, also you could have maybe a law where it's like even I'm not saying
Yeah.
that they should do this, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying like they could have a law where it's like, and if you want to have hormonal treatments, we don't cover it. Like
exactly.
that's-
Like that's what I was thinking because like why do you just completely need to not let them be part of the military?
Mhm.
That's honestly not even because he doesn't want to pay. That's
Mhm.
because he
Mhm.
is discriminating against them.
hmm
Should we move on to the next topic?
Yes, sure. Let's do this. So, if you are a fan of BTS, stay. If you are not a fan of BTS, leave.
Yeah.
Or you should
Yeah.
still stay. If
Maybe you should
Or
stay.
maybe you should stay.
Maybe
You
if
can
you don't
learn to love.
yeah, maybe if
Yeah.
you don't know who they are, maybe you'll find out a little more about them.
It'll be a lot of fun.
maybe a new artist interest.
Whoa. That's a little too crazy.
So I'll start off by saying today I bought my RJ plushie, and RJ's having a blast.
Yeah,
There's a hole
RJ's
in
sitting
there,
here.
but it's okay.
Yeah, he has a hole, so I'm gonna go to Build-A-Bear and steal one of those hearts and then
Amy,
put it
we're
in
gonna
him.
be found out now.
I mean, I'm not gonna steal. I'm gonna buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, duh.
And yeah, he's really happy right now. He finally got to leave his box. He was the last one in storage, which means he was all alone back there.
Unless there's more of the other ones.
And
Whoa.
shout out to what's his name, Roderick?
No.
Yeah,
it was
Derek.
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 Yeah.
Shout out to Derek from Hot Topic.
Derek from Hot Topic for getting RJ from the back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
he was carrying it like this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. He
Really?
was like,
Oh,
He's
for
like,
the
"Here's
people
the
who
last
can't,
one, woo."
or for the people who obviously can't see,
oh yeah.
he was holding it against his head, above his head, like he was
Mhm.
praising RJ, which
Yeah, like
And then-
Simba.
And we said, do you have any more RJ plushies in the back? He's like, let me go check. He didn't even ask who it was. He just said, yeah, I'll go check. Like, he knew who RJ
He
was.
knew who RJ was.
he secretly
how could you not know who RJ is?
BTS army.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe
Not
he was
even
like,
secretly. Maybe he just is a BTS army.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
that concert.
speaking of BTS, yeah, Sophie and I went to the BTS concert in Soldier Field on
Sunday.
May 12th, which was 1 week ago, and we're really upset because it was a week ago, and now I'm really sad because it was a week ago.
And they all said they basically want to live in Chicago. They all didn't say
Basically,
that, but
all of
one
them basically said it.
One of them said it, so he's basically saying it for all of them.
Yeah. So basically, if one of them's gonna live in Chicago,
All of them.
all
have
of them
to.
are gonna live in Chicago.
They said Chicago is their favorite place.
Mhm.
So
They
that means-
basically said, and they also said that they want to move in with me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But
they-
wait, to be just a little bit, just so you guys know, we do not live anywhere near Sheffield. We do not live by Chicago.
Yeah, no, we don't live in Chicago.
No,
Mm-mm.
nowhere near that.
We live in
Kansas.
We were actually
in
no,
Kansas.
we actually live in a state that we cannot disclose to the general public because we were afraid of people hunting us
'Cause
down
we're
due
so
to our
hot.
attractive voices. But yeah, we traveled over to Chicago
Mhm.
to
Took
to
a
see
while.
them. Yeah,
But
it
anyways,
was a long car ride.
the concert was a great experience. Changed me as a person.
I would have to agree with that statement.
Mhm. And I think we're gonna have to bring Amy and Yasmine, Amy and Yasmine along with us next year.
I
And
would
RJ.
agree.
I know.
RJ, of course. And then hopefully I'll buy Mong, Yasmine will buy Chimmy.
And I'll buy Shoki.
Yeah, and then we'll take them. And then
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be in Soldier Field again, and maybe we can get some GA tickets so that when I wear my Mong headband, Hoso can see me.
And he might
You
steal
know,
your
I've never
phone.
seen Yoongi waving at anybody, so if he doesn't wave at me, I'm gonna be a little sad.
Oh.
You always see all the other members like waving at people and like giving them things, and there's Yoongi.
Yeah.
So if you do anything,
Maybe he's just awkward.
he's saving it for me. I know.
Oh. Gassed up, shorty.
Hey, Yoongi, give me some sugar.
Ah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks,
That was
guys.
really bad.
I didn't get it.
Well,
Well, I'm not gonna explain.
the concert was really, really good. All the songs were really emotional. It was really weird because everybody there was so kind.
Yeah.
And we got so many freebies from other armies, and it was really cool because there were a lot of people there from like different races, and a lot of people were speaking different languages, and there were people of all different abilities. Like this one lady, like she was like a middle-aged woman in a wheelchair. She taught us how to loop our the little wristband that comes with the army bomb in, because she saw that we were struggling with it. And then she was like, "Oh, do you guys need help?" And then we said yes. So she helped us, and then we said thank you, and she was like, "No problem, sweetie." And it was the nicest thing ever.
Yeah, I wish we could go back.
Yeah. And then it was weird because a lot of people, when they gave us stuff, they also complimented us, and it was crazy. They were like, "Your outfits are really cool, by the way," or like, "I love all your outfits." And it was pretty crazy. Also, everybody there was dressed really cool.
Yeah.
And everybody was really happy and enjoying themselves, and it made me really happy.
Seemed like a different place. Cause like everybody, cause you felt like comfortable because you didn't have to be scared of people making fun of you.
Normally when you play music in another language, unless it's like, you know, Spanish, most people will make fun of you, and it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that I don't play BTS music in public, not because I'm like embarrassed or anything like that, but because I know how other people react to it, and it's just something that I don't want to have to deal with like every single day. And being at that concert and walking around the venue while waiting to go in, and like hearing their music being played on the speakers with everybody like happily talking to each other and singing along to the music was so much fun, because I honestly felt like I could be myself there, and like if I actually belonged somewhere.
When we finally walked into Soldier Field, it felt like another world.
It was crazy when it was 5, they opened the doors, and then everybody started screaming.
Yeah, and I started tearing up.
Yeah, I remember we were about to go in, and I was tearing up, and I looked at Sophie, and then I was like, "Sophie, I can't do this. We're about to go in. They're in there, and they're waiting for us." It was crazy. And then they had metal detectors, which is actually something that I want to talk about. How America had a clear, and still has a clear bag policy for their stadium tour here, because America's not safe. So everybody that went to the concert had to bring 8 by 6 by 12 inch bag or something like that, but it had to be clear and see-through.
Or you could bring a really small, like, not see-through bag.
Yeah.
But no one did that.
I just want to make it clear that I was choking, not laughing. So when she was saying that America has a bad safety issue, I was not laughing, I was choking. Thank you.
Thank you.
But, like, other places don't have to have metal detectors, right?
Like, back in Korea, I don't think they have
you
clear bag
You could
policy.
watch videos of people going to the concerts, and they have, like, their whole backpacks.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't have to worry because no one's going to want to bring in a gun and, like, shoot up the place.
Well,
like
I mean,
America.
not nobody, but
Well, like,
most
it's
people
like,
don't. It's really not an issue over there. And
Like, in America, you're expected to expect that. I
going
guess.
through the metal detectors made me really nervous. I don't
Me
know
too.
why.
I thought I was gonna, like, I don't know, get arrested.
Mhm. And then when they checked our tickets and the light turned green,
Yeah, I got so scared. I was like,
I couldn't believe it was real.
yeah.
It was so crazy. And then we were going up the stairs because we were sitting in the 200 section, so we had to use this escalator to get upstairs.
Mhm.
And while we got onto the elevator, Epiphany started playing. So as we were going
You're
up,
being risen.
yeah, it's like we were rising. And then we walked into the actual stadium seating area with Epiphany playing in the background. And then I got even more emotional because the first song that I've ever heard about BTS was Boy in Love.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the song that was playing when I walked into the stadium.
Say what you want.
Say what you want.
Wait, was it like already pre-recorded or was it them singing?
No,
Oh, it
they
was their
had,
music videos.
yeah,
They were playing their music videos
they were
on the big
projecting
screens.
their music videos
How did
while people waited.
Yeah.
How did they get on stage? I don't see.
They got. I couldn't really see because I saw
Well,
the things.
I
but-
remember before it started, everybody started screaming
Yeah, 'cause you'd see
because everybody was them and the backup dancers
Yeah.
ran from this one side of the venue up to the stairs that go up to the stage, and so everybody saw them running, and as soon
Everybody
as
was,
that
like,
happened,
getting up,
everybody went
yeah.
crazy.
And everybody was
got
standing
up,
up.
and then nobody sat back down except
Yeah, like
for the
no
little
one,
kids.
no one sat for like the next 3 hours.
Except for the little kids.
Yeah, or like the parents that didn't want to be there.
Well, it was weird though because like people say the parents that didn't want to be there, but literally all the parents that I saw got really into it halfway through.
Yeah, but there's like one parent that like left
Mm.
halfway through.
Well,
She just wasn't having
it's
it.
sad for her.
She wasn't having it.
It's really sad for her. She missed out.
Mhm.
Like the mom in front of us, she was with her little
Yeah.
daughter, and then halfway through the concert, she took her daughter's army bomb and
Her-
she started using it.
Her daughter was so calm. I don't know how.
Yeah. It was crazy. And then during Singularity, which is a song where one of the members, Taeyoung, is laying on a bed in the beginning, the mom looked really, really, you know,
In love.
yeah. Yeah, I think she fell in love with him in that moment. Because when he opened his eyes, her mouth dropped open.
But like every time a new song came out, I would look around the stadium and see all the army
Yeah.
bombs. I get happy.
I remember for like
Outro
4
tear.
days after the concert, every single time that I closed my eyes, all I would see was like the army bombs.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
You guys are gonna have a lot of fun when you go next year with us.
Yeah, when
We're
you go
gonna-
next year with us because you guys are going.
Yeah, you have to.
I remember when I was a freshman in the beginning of the year, I would always tell my older friends, I was like, I'm never going to go to BTS concert.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never going to be able to see them. And they were like, what do you mean? You are going to go. Like, you're going to go one day. And then so I just kept telling myself that I was going to go, and then I ended up going. And, yeah.
Yeah, I added that to my bucket list. I said, I want to go to a BTS concert, go backstage, and get breastfed by Namjoon.
Yeah, that makes
Best
sense.
friend.
Yeah. Even though me and Namjoon are best friends and I've already been breastfed by him before. But I have to do it at a concert,
you
you
have
know?
to do it backstage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
With
it to
every
feel
all the
real.
other
All the other members have to be singing their solo songs.
And Namjoon said I'm allowed to go to any of his concerts because I'm his best friend, but, like, I said, Nami, like, come on. You know I can't do that. I'm a busy girl. So, yeah, he calls me Amy. I call him Nami.
Whoa.
Or sometimes Junie. Depends. But Junie reminds me of the guy from...
Junie.
He reminds me of the guy from, what's that movie called? Jumanji?
Whoa.
Is that named Junie?
Well, I
Who's
call...
Junie?
Jimmy?
Oh, Spy Kids. Spy Kids.
Whoa.
Yep.
Well, my nickname for Namjoon is June. My nickname for Taeyoung is Tae, which is, I'm pretty sure,
I
what a
remember
lot of
that.
people
Tae.
call him. Yeah. For Jimin,
I just say
Chim.
Jimin.
sometimes I call him Jimin-shi because of those videos of Jungkook where he's like, Jimin-shi.
Jimin Shi.
And then for Jin, I don't really have a nickname for him.
You know,
I mean,
he
his
said
name
his
is
fans are called
Seokjin.
Sokjini.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that somewhere
Oh.
on Twitter that someone said that he said his fans are called Sokjinis. I was like, whoa,
And then for Hoseok, I mean,
Hobie? I don't know.
I
That's
call
what people
him-
call
I
him.
call him Hobie, but I also call him my baby because he's my baby. And
Even though he's like 10 years older than you or something.
No, he's not.
No,
Yes,
he
he
is.
is.
I know he is.
And then for Yoongi,
I can't believe he's 10 years older than
Augusty. What's his name?
For
I just call him
Yoongi,
Yoongi.
I call him Yoongoos.
yeah. And Jungkook.
Cook-
People call him
Cookie.
Cookie, but I don't really call him that.
Yeah, it was weird because back then everybody called him Cookie, but
Mhm.
now barely anybody calls him Cookie. I call him Jungkook.
People
That's what
spell it
everyone calls him.
with a G sometimes, like Jung,
Yeah,
good,
Yeah.
good, yeah.
because that's how people usually say it. I
Well, that's
thought.
how I call him, or sometimes I just call him Gook.
Mhm.
I call Jungkook Sophie's bias.
Whoa.
Yep.
Wow.
Sometimes I'm
Sorry.
like, hey guys, you know Sophie's bias, Jungkook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll sometimes be like, you guys know your hope, my hope, J hope.
Yeah, she was pronouncing it like that in science class. She was like, "I'm your hope, I'm my hope, I'm J hope." I was like,
I think when he
Amy.
said that in concert, because everybody was saying it with him.
Yeah, but that's not even how he pronounces it. He's like, "I'm your hope, you're my hope, I'm J hope."
And then he lets everybody else say
But
hope.
then on the SNL, not SNL, I'm stupid. On the most recent interview that
Yeah.
they had, he tries really hard to pronounce the P, like,
Mhm.
you know, like nicely, and yeah,
The P?
yeah, because whenever he pronounces a P, he pronounces it with an F sound.
Ah.
Like instead of saying J Hope, he says J Hope.
I think my grandma's the other way. She says she pronounces F's as P's.
Whoa.
So like
So fries, she's like prize. Prize.
So, like,
Yeah.
Soapy?
Yeah.
Soapy.
Or
Yeah,
if like
Sophie.
fall, she'd be like ball. Yeah.
Hmm.
I make pollen.
Paul.
Well, how long have we
We're
been?
recording.
Wow, I guess our podcast is too good. Well, we've been recording for a solid 30 minutes. Wow, we got through all our topics in 30 minutes.
Yeah, all right.
Last time it took us a whole hour.
Before we leave, I think Amy and I would just like to rant a little bit about the fact that we have a job, and we said we were going to be paid like $9.75 an hour, and we got our first paycheck, and it was only $8.93. Which really sucked. And not only that, but I got paid $1 less than Amy did. Because
Brenda's your
Punch-in card.
punch-in card, it wasn't working for the first 2 days, and so she had to go to our supervisor and say, I got here on time, you saw me get here on time, like, you just put me in. And then when she would leave, she would write down on the HR lady's like board. So I guess our manager just didn't do it right.
yeah, made me pretty upset.
I gotta agree with that.
Do you guys
No.
get paid?
Not really.
No, we don't get paid.
No, like paid sick, paid leave.
Oh no, because we're part-time.
Oh.
We're Pat's High.
But I got so confused because they were like, she was like, well, how much did I say I was going to pay you guys? We were like $10. She was like, no, I can't pay you that much because of something. And that makes me upset because most of the time in other places, like, we know other students that get paid like $12 or $13.
Literally, I looked it up. McDonald's pays the
It'd
first,
be
like,
like 11.
yeah, starting pay is $11.
So I don't really understand why it says no, I can't. Why they say no, I can't pay you that much, and then it makes me even more angry because when we were first gonna start working there, they made it seem like working there was like really cool or whatever, and you were gonna like you're such like a tight knit community and
Mhm.
everybody gets along and
And
it's
they made
all
it
so cool.
They made it sound like they were gonna give us really good breaks and
and really good like
Mhm.
money and
then like
pay.
on like days off, they're like, oh, like you're gonna get days off. Like they made it sound like we're gonna get days off and stuff.
Like,
and,
I never really expected much for the whole, like, working here is going to be amazing because, I mean, like, working anywhere where you have to do concessions doesn't really sound fun to me, but
especially
I at
when
least
you're making
expected-
the food and
Yeah.
selling the food, and there's only 2 of you.
I at least expected the, pay to be good. And not only that, but they keep talking about, like, the community there being so tight-knit or whatever, even though there's literally, like, 1,000 workers and nobody knows each other.
But another thing is also like they're always like, oh, you should be nice to your supervisors, because we'll be more than happy to tell colleges and future employers that you worked here, because we're an international company that sells millions of dollars in food, and like just like food alone, like you should be so happy that you work with us. But it's like I don't need to have a job tell me, or like tell employers of how good of a worker I am, especially when it's my first job. Because even my mom told me, she's like, it's your first job, so like most employers won't even look at it.
Not only that, but they told us to be like nice to our supervisors, blah blah blah. But honestly, some of our supervisors have been getting on my nerves. Like, one of our supervisors found out that I was going to the BTS concert, and he said something really racist that I'd honestly rather not repeat. But yeah, it made me pretty upset. And then he kept showing me a bunch of really annoying memes or whatever that were racist and directed towards BTS, and I just really don't appreciate that.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. And also I feel like, so every day we have to punch out, and there's this questionnaire, and it says like, it's like, did you get a break today? And like, how was your break long enough? Did you say, like, was it your choice to deny or accept the break? The thing is, like, I think we've been asked to have a break maybe half the time we've worked there. Asked if we wanted a break. Sometimes we'll come in and they'll be like, you don't get a break today. Sorry, we can't give you a break. Literally. And then other times we'll be like either really busy, or it'll be like the beginning of the day and they're like, okay, take your break now. And it's like, we just started. Like, I'm not tired at all. And then like, well, one time we even said, can you come back later when we're like less busy and like actually tired? Because right now we just started and like we're busy making food, and like, and they're like, okay, we'll come back later. They never came back. And that was the day we worked 12 hours.
Not only that, but it bothers me because they always ask us about breaks or whatever, even though they never specify to us what happens during a break.
Mm-hmm. Actually, when you were at the concert, I was working, and one of the managers came over and said, take a break. Like, she didn't even ask. She was just like, take a break. And she was like, grab one of the food from the food court and go eat it in the storage area. Now, the storage area is like a crawl space, literally. It's about maybe 4 feet tall or high, right, Brenda? 4 or 5 feet. And it's probably about
like
3 feet wide, right?
Well, the area that we have to walk, like the space that we have, because it's filled with boxes,
yes,
it's probably like, I don't know,
like
it's probably like
1 to 2 feet, really.
5 feet long, but then the area that we have to walk through is probably like 3 feet.
Yeah.
Long.
And then there's some areas where it's as
Wide.
small as like 1 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of the area with the fridge and whatnot. And then me and 3 other people had to eat our lunch in there, and it was so awkward and small, and the food wasn't even that good. And it just wasn't a good scenario.
Well, I don't know if I want to keep working there because we barely get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my feet hurt so badly after working there. They never tell us how to do anything, and so when we end up doing something wrong, we always get scolded and yelled at.
We don't even know when
Last
we're
night,
closed.
the dishwasher yelled at me really badly because I went to go put the dishes away, and then he started yelling at me, and he was like, "Why did you wait until now to bring them in?"
Mm-hmm.
And then I just stood there, and everybody in the kitchen was looking at me, and I didn't know what to do, and it just like makes me feel really weird because I've never had like adults yell at me about everything before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not only that, but I'm also like the youngest person there, so having everybody that's older than me like treat me with like so much disrespect like feels so weird, because like everybody's so inconsiderate.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody just treats us really, really badly.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, we have one of the most demanding concession areas there, because we not only make the butter popcorn, and when like we have to like carry bags of like popcorn kernels to to
The
actually
machine,
make the popcorn. Yeah.
And it's about like I would say, so where the kernels are to the machine, that's probably like a 10 feet walk, I would say. And then like, because you do also have to maneuver around a lot of machines to get there. And then once you're there, it's literally an 80-pound bag. I'm not even joking. That's what it says on the box. It says 80 pounds. and then you have to carry it over, cut it open, and 2 people have to pick it up to pour it into the area.
Like, both of us have to do it at the same time. And so then, like, we have to do that, and we have to, like, when the butter runs out, we have to take out the top of the little butter container. Well, it's not even little, it's, like, super heavy.
It's really heavy.
And so we have to take it out and put it into the other butter, and we have to wait for it to melt, and we have to push it in. And so we make regular buttered popcorn, and then we have to make caramel popcorn. And we've honestly, like, probably burned ourselves a bit, like, doing that, like, every single time.
I think we both burned ourselves once, right, so far?
Yeah, because Amy is in control of taking the lid off when we have to, like, start, like, stirring the popcorn in there.
And just to add, the lid is really messed up. Even our boss came over. He's like the main boss of the area, and he was teaching us how to make caramel, and he literally was taking it off, and he's like, wow, this is beaten up. And he's like, I'm gonna have to see about getting this fixed, because you can't even put it on right. Like, when you take it off, it's really hard to take off. So he's like, I'll look into it, and he never did it. But and it's so hard to take off. What you have to do is you have to get a towel, because they don't have oven mitts for some reason. You have to get a towel and hit it off, and then you have to make sure it doesn't, like, fly across the room, though. You have to, like, take it off, like, also hit it off at the same time, and then you have to let all the steam and water get off of it, and then you have to put it down, or you have to put it on top of, like, another machine. It's so stupid.
Yeah, and then once Amy's done with that, and we have to pour out the popcorn, like, the machine where we make the caramel popcorn in is super hot, and I have to put, like, my entire head and arm in there to get out all of the caramel popcorn.
The machine...
And I burned my arm, like, 3 times on there, but I haven't told anybody because I don't want to sound like a wuss.
Mm-hmm. And in the machine, it has, like, a temperature gauge on it. It usually starts off at 200 degrees, and by the time of, like, the end of the day, it's usually 300 to 400 degrees. So, yeah. Same with the popcorn machine. The popcorn machine starts off at 200, and at the end of the day, it's 300 to 400 degrees. Literally, when you were actually at the concert, it got up to 500 degrees, and I'm like, if we make more popcorn, this thing's gonna explode. Like, this is scary.
Honestly, I don't even care about rude customers, because, like, it's expected. Like, you're gonna get rude customers. People are rude. Like, there's nothing you can really do about that. But, like, just the entire atmosphere of working there, and, like, clearly, like, being an important part of working there, but not being seen as an important part of working there because you're 16 really sucks.
Yeah. Also, my mom told me, she was like, oh, I looked up your job, and, like, it has, like, an employee rating of, like, 1 star. Like, and I'm like, why? She's like, well, everyone there says that, like, the work shifts are too long, you're underpaid, and all the managers are really bad. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right.
It's true. Like, our manager literally came by yesterday, and she was like, have you guys seen my phone? And
literally, the minute we got there, her phone was on the counter. So I said, hey, is that your phone? And I knew she didn't hear me. And I know she doesn't like me. So she literally turned to me, shook her head, and then looked away. And then I didn't pay attention to her phone anymore, because I'm like, okay, be that way. Literally 3 to, like, 5 minutes later, she left. About 10 minutes later, she came back. She's like, have you guys seen my phone? I'm like, okay.
Okay.
And not only that, but then we're like, okay, we're done with our section, and then they're like, no, you're not. Go clean those tables over there. And that made me really angry, because all of them are sitting, like, all the managers and supervisors were sitting around a table talking to each other while we had to clean the stupid tables, and then all, like, the good-looking girls or whatever started to come by to, like, flirt with some of the managers, and they're workers there too, but nobody told them to go clean tables, and we had to clean the tables.
Literally, your cousin who also works with us said, oh, I thought I was cleaning the tables. And then one of our managers was like, oh, they already did it. It's like, what? I guess maybe they finished their section first. But either way, if they already think they're going to do it, and they're all ready to do it, and we're over here just wanting to go home because we just literally cleaned our section for an hour, we want to go home.
Honestly, we work more hours than them, because they always tell us to come in early to make stupid popcorn. Mm-hmm. That one day that we were supposed to work 12 hours, you know, we actually worked 15.
Really?
Yeah, I looked at the thing. It said 15 hours. That's more than half of the day. Is that even legal? We're 16 years old.
According to my mom, she says that's not legal, but I looked it up, and technically it is.
We should go there and, like, not punch out.
That was the
one
same day that they said we're not allowed to have a break because it's too busy.
Oh yeah, they were like, you either have one now or you don't have one.
Literally, one of our managers came over, and he's like, no break, and like he did that thing where he's like that, like no, he's like no break today. He's like maybe a 15-minute break if you really need it, but no break.
I hate our supervisors and like managers so much, and I have to be so fake to them and like pretend to like care or like be happy with what they're telling me, but I'm always so angry at them.
Dude, it's so funny. Like literally, when I'm in the car going there, I'm literally like so mad the whole time. Unless I'm with you, then I'm happy. But I'm in the car, I'm just so mad the whole time. And then when we get there and I see our managers, I just smile like, hey.
And not only that, but there's also like a bar tending area right next to our popcorn area. So like drunk people will always like come by to eat popcorn, like as soon as like they've gotten drunk or whatever, and they're not allowed to get more beer, and most of the time a lot of drunk people come by at the end of the day when they've closed down the bar or whatever, and then they keep asking us the same things over and over. They're like, are you guys closed? And we're like, no. They're like, can we have some popcorn? And then we're like, yeah. And then they ask us, they're like, so can we have one of those big bags that you guys have over there? And we're like, no, like we're using those for later. And then they're like, so you can't sell me a big bag?
Literally,
you guys are putting them away. And we're
literally...
like, no, we're using them for later. And they're like, but you guys are like putting them away. And it's like, we literally said like 8 times that we're using them for later. And then they always ask the same thing. They're like, so I can't have a bag? And they always say, we'll pay you extra.
Yeah,
we'll give you extra money. And it's like, we can't take your fucking money.
This lady was literally like, name a price. And then she brought out her wallet. And I'm like, we can't sell them. She's like, well, can we at least have like a smaller bag? And I'm like, we can only sell the buckets. Yeah. And she's like, well, can we do a smaller bag? And I'm like, and then the other lady next to her was like, yeah, let's do a bag. And I'm like, didn't I just say we can only sell buckets? Like, the cash register lady will yell at us.
The cash register lady's so mean to us. She literally always yells at us, and she always comes into like our area to do stuff. Like the other day, she walked in really angrily, and she took the broom out of her area, and she never returned it. And we were like, what do we do now?
Yeah, people always take the broom from us. Okay, so since we work popcorn, we're always supposed to have a broom by us for some reason. I think it's just because like we're far away from the main area. And, like, where they keep the broom. So I think that's why we were supposed to keep one in our area. But everyone always is like, oh, can we borrow? We'll bring it back. And then they never bring it back. And then I go to the kitchen, and it's there in the kitchen. And I'm like, okay. Also, literally, like, we have to get buckets and all the materials for the popcorn. It's literally so far away from the popcorn stand. So we have to walk all the way over there to get it. And then we come back, and there's a huge line. Because, like, people are waiting. It's so annoying.
Well... on that note, I think maybe we should go to sleep.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for listening to the podcast. And as you know, if your lips are chapped, listen to the Chapped Lips podcast.
Oh, that was disgusting. Wait, we never had, like, one of our quotes for the
quotes of the day.
This is Sophie's job.
Makes the dream work.
Whoa, and where does that tie into?
We're all a team.
Whoa! That was really good. Bye.